everybody, and welcome along to VSL F1 Season 6. We are here at Shanghai International Circuit, where hosts round 6 of the championship, the Chinese Grand Prix. It was first held in 2004, and the circuit has held the record for the highest number of overtakes during the Grand Prix, which is hard to believe, to be honest, despite on what has happened in the last few Chinese Grand Prix races. But we've had quite a lot of entertaining ones, and I'm sure tonight is going to be no different. The track is 5.4 kilometers long, and it has 16 turns, 7 to the left and 9 to the right. And there's a quick look at the track map, as you can see right now, and it has a few DRS zones, 2 DRS zones actually, one heading towards the start finish straight, and then one towards the middle of turn 13 and into the end of turn 14. We're going to look at the driver's standings now before we head to the race. We've got Mata that's leading the way with 107 points. Carl is second with 93. Third is Bankai with 67, joint with Pete. Bankai unfortunately can't make it anymore to the lead, but we would like to say thank you so much for all your hard work that he has done. He's definitely done a lot, so thank you very much. We have got Brandon in 5th, Iceman 6th, Red Matt 7th, Ryan Berry 8th, Acorn 9th, and J Luke in 10th. Got Niels in 11th, Yuri in 12th, New Garden in 13th, Risky 14th, Lee in 15th, M Ryan 16th, Logan 17th, N98 18th, which is Ahmed, Kevin 19th, Brad in 20th, and Davo unfortunately in last place. But without further ado, let's get straight into the business action of things with the team standings. Yellow are leading the way with 189 points. Green in second, 137. Pink third with 127. Blue is in fourth with 114. And red is in fifth with 59. So, here we go then. Are you ready for some action? At the moment, in one-shot qualifying, it's looking nice and sunny, but never see that as an excuse, really. We could be in for a cracker here tonight, because it's well known for having weather with changeable conditions, as I've experienced both myself as a racer and as a commentator as well. For those of you that are new to VSL, we have got one-shot qualifying that all the drivers will be doing. It's not the normal 80-minute qualifying, which means the drivers have only one chance to get it right. If they invalidate, then that's it. They will be starting near the back of the grid. But if they get a good lap, they'll be put in their pole position. Also, we got 3 people that will be doing the 2-stop strategy. That is the top 3 from the last race. I need to try and remember who that was, but there'll be 3. I'll check the results from last week to give you a clear indication of what happened. It was Spain last week. Didn't have much action racing-wise, but safety cars definitely throw a spanner into the works. So we've got Mate, Kyle, and Brandon that are going to be doing the 2-stop today. Everybody else is on the 1-stop. So there we go. And strategy-wise, you don't really want to be touching the softs that much. Softs last probably the shortest duration of any track. Shorter than Singapore, fair to believe. Like Singapore, the tyres could last 9 laps of softs. Whereas here in China, it could last 7 laps. Even though the deltas are not a bit lower. Between the softs and the hards, about 1 second. Between the softs and the medium, 7 tenths per second. So there we go. And Lewis Hamilton has won quite a few Chinese Grand Prix. There wasn't any Chinese Grand Prix last year due to the coronavirus, and I believe it's not on the calendar this year either. So it's going to be the last time I'm going to see it in the game for a while, and in any race, which is a bit of a shame, but hopefully the drivers definitely give us something to remember. So we're just waiting for the drivers to ready up, which they are readying up, which is good news, and we'll be about to kick off and see who we're going to go on board with on a hot lap. Let's hope it's someone that I haven't gone on board before, because I want to try and vary it up a little bit. I can't remember if I went on board with Niels before. I literally can't remember. So, but I'm going to go on board anyway. Now, this is going to be an understeery central part of the circuit. Turn 1 to 3. Brake just after the 50-metre board, you should be down to around about 3rd gear here as you head towards turn 3. Then shift to 4th and then 5th as you head towards turn 5 and 6. And then you're going to be heading towards the right apex here of turn 7. Another S section coming up here as well. A little kink, I would say, of turn 8 and heading towards, I would say, turn 9 and then heading towards turn 10. And let's see if this is not invalidating. It's not invalidating so far, which is looking pretty promising. Now turning into 12, aim to run your front right wheel along the inside curb, which he's done a little bit. And I believe that's an invalidation. Let me have a look. Track map. Nope, it's not an invalidation. So he slowed the car down much enough. So you're going to be this is the DRS straight. Make sure you don't go all the way onto the outside curb. The sooner you can get through throttle here, the better. Turns 14 and 15. This is basically just one corner. The hairpin at the end of the straight. Important braking zone to get it right. And now you're going to be heading towards turn 16. The very final corner of the lap. And a very easy place to pick up track extension warning. Coming across the line. Niels comes across the line in 30th. But it's Brandon who's on pole position with a 1:29.978. And there's quite a few invalidations, as you can see. And turn 16, you've got to aim just before the 50-metre board. But if you put the power down way too early with your right-hand wheels, then you're going to probably slide a little bit. Just like I found out quite a few times. So, on pole position is Brandon. In second is Redmat. Third is Pete. Fourth is Ryan Berry. Fifth is Matter. Sixth is M. Ryan. Seventh is Kyle. Eighth is Risky. Ninth is Lee. 10th is Newgarden. 11th is Cav. And we've got Acorn, Niels, Yuri, Gavin, Ahmed, J-Luke. So we've got 3 drivers who have been validated. Now, I'm a bit shocked that the top 10 will be starting on the soft tyres. Because, again, that's a tyre I wouldn't want to be on. But I assume they want to get their soft tyre run out of the way. I understand why Matter, Brandon, and Kyle will be doing that. But I'm not sure about the others. But they are the strategists. And, that's probably why they're starting on the softs. They wanted to do their qualifying lap on the soft because it is going to be a wet start to the race. And from what I've seen in the Twitter chat, wet start meaning it's not going to be like that for the whole race, I believe. And unfortunately, one of the drivers forgot to check the weather. He basically qualified his lap on the mediums and he forgot to check the weather. And I think, to be honest, he could have gone a little bit higher, but lessons learned. Make sure you always check the weather when you're racing before you start your qualifying lap because it will definitely help you with your tyre choices as well. So, the Chinese Grand Prix has produced quite a few different winners, which was quite interesting as well. Michael Schumacher, I believe, has won here once. I think he won the first ever Chinese Grand Prix. And attendances are now approximately 140,000 people, which is quite a lot to believe. And there was one time, actually, where the British national anthem was incorrectly played on the podium for Red Bull, which was unfair, to say the least. And this was a track also where the 1000th World Championship Grand Prix was staged in 2019. It has 2 270-degree corners, which is hard for the brakes and tyres, so expect the tyres to be quite warm, even in these wet conditions. Lewis Hamilton is by far the most successful driver in Shanghai. He has had wins in 2008, 2011, 2014, 2015, 2017 and 2019. Hamilton is also the only driver to have taken the fastest lap of the race here more than once, having done so 4 times. And Ferrari has had the most podium finishes here with 13. Mercedes are not that far behind on 12. I think Red Bull took their first win in 2009 with Sebastian Vettel as a team. And I could expect that Red Bull is going to be really, really good in this real-life season. So it's quite fitting that I read a fact about Red Bull taking a first ever win. And not many races in China are won from lower than, I would say, 4th or 5th. But Daniel Ricciardo proved otherwise, with him starting from 6th in 2018 and went on to win the race. He missed qualifying, actually, due to an engine issue. There was a safety car that was called out, which was perfect for the Red Bull drivers as they both pitted. And Ricciardo made some really great overtakes. And Ricciardo was the first driver to win the Chinese Grand Prix from as far back as 6th on the grid. Let us know your predictions in the chat of who you think's going to win this race. And as a reminder, 3 drivers will be on the 2-stop strategy today. So we'll have to find out what's happened. But anyway, thank you so much for watching so far. And let's get the tyres up. I believe they're on Inters. So let me have a look. Oh. So maybe Acorn choosing on the mediums is not the bad idea. That is very strange. This is not the first time I've witnessed this in a league race, where it's a wet track but dry tyres. I wonder after the first lap people will be going on the intermediates, but this baffles me. I was not expecting to go through the tyres. That's why I was a bit late in putting up the tyres today. So we'll have a look actually. So the only ones on the mediums is Acorn down in 12th position. So let me go on. Someone's already gone off. The conditions are treacherous already. It's really hard. I don't understand why the softs are the best option. Just look at the track. Cody's, man. We also got Ahmed as well down in 16th on the mediums. Now, the softs in these type of crossover conditions are the best tyres to be on. It'll be much cooler as well, and, you know, I think they can manage the soft tyres for a bit longer, but they'll have to brake early in these type of conditions as well. But we'll have to find out as, like I said, the race goes on. I don't usually get predictions in, but I think, I don't know, it's really hard because I was going to predict Brandon, but Brandon is on the 2-stop. But Brandon's form later on is going to be amazing, and there might be a late safety car. The season, he finished 2nd last week, and he was actually the runner-up last season in VSL, so maybe he's just waiting for the track that he likes. I think he likes this track, but hopefully we'll get some good overtakes. I think it's going to be a very difficult first few laps of this Grand Prix, but make sure you do watch these 28 laps. The lap record around here, the race lap record, was a 1:32.238, and that was set by Michael Schumacher in 2004. Now, that Ferrari back then was really, really good. So, to be honest, I'm not really that surprised. But anyway, here we go. We're about to get cracking with the race. Will we see a different winner tonight, or will we see winners from previous races come out of their shell again and take the victory? Yellow is currently leading the team standings. Will they be able to hold on to that after tonight? I think they can, but it's going to be a tall order. We're about to get underway then as the 5 red lights go, go, go. And it's a decent start from Redmat. Actually, Brandon's got a poor start compared to everybody else, which was very, very interesting as they all make their way through turn 1 as they go side by side, heading in towards turn 2. A few people have going off already, which shows how difficult these conditions are already. And there might be a bit of collisions in the background. No, everyone seems to make it fine. Heading towards the start of turn 4 now and then towards turn 5. We've got Ryan Berry trying to make a move. Mata trying to make up for lost time as well. We can see Ryan Berry going around the outside of Risky. Risky trying to hold on to this line, and someone's gone off in the background. That's Lee. Lee's had a horrendous start in lap 1. Already gone into the grass and has unfortunately done a bit of a kind of like a Valtteri Bottas as he went into the grass there. Everyone else seems to be managing all right. Jake Luke's back up to 13. He had a poor start originally, but he is determined to fight back, like I said. So basically do watch this space. As Niels and Ryan both fighting once again. Yuri as well, going into turn 13. No DRS though up until lap 3. As we're already seeing people go off. I mean, they just have to take it a little bit more cautiously. I'm a bit worried that we're going to get more penalties than ever in this race. It's probably going to be like USA, where we've seen a lot more invalidations. As here comes the hairpin then. Side by side is going to be 3 wide, I think, near the midfield. And Redmats, who had a really good start, has dropped down to 4th. Brandon's now back in the lead. Or is it the timing glitch having a little bit of an issue? Nope, it's the timing glitch that's having the issue, sadly. So that is a bit of a shame. But hey, you get races like that. They said that they are going to fix that, but unfortunately they do not. Meanwhile, Newgarden's gone off. Luckily, he saved the car, but he's lost a little bit of time. Heading towards, let me just have a look at what turn it is. It's quite hard to distinguish. I think it's turn 4. Yes, it is the start of turn 4 where he got caught out there. And we're not on lap 3, we're on lap 2 as Pete has already picked himself a time penalty as Mata is already chasing him at this moment in time. And I have to turn my notifications on. I do apologise. I have to apologise. Okay, here comes Pete around the inside. Mata could try and go around the outside into turn 13, but couldn't quite do it. He didn't want to get involved in many mistakes. So we're going to see people going side by side in the background. I think a lot of people are trying to find their rhythm past turn 13 and heading towards turn 14. Yuri probably going to go for the longer line here. It's going to be 3 wide. Here comes Jamie. Jamie around the inside. But Jamie had to cut to the outside very, very briefly. And Yuri almost took full advantage of that. Gavin stays up into 7th place. As DRS has been enabled for these drivers. So now time for the drivers to really put it into high gear. They'll probably have to stay on these dry tyres for quite a while as Ryan gets past Kyle. Ryan's had a very good start actually. Let me just see how many positions have been gained for the drivers. So we've got Red Mat's gained 1. Here we go, Ryan and Carl going side by side here into this tricky right-hander of turn 6. Now heading into the sweeping of turn 7 and the little kink of turn 8 now. Carl wants to keep this momentum, and so does M. Ryan. M. Ryan does not. He wants to make sure he gets a podium. Like, this will be one of his best results. He's currently sitting 16th in the standings. I'm sure you want to go higher than that. Do not forget the top 12 score points here today. So more chance for everybody to try and score as much as they can. And also whoever scores the fastest lap, I think it's out of everybody, they get an additional 2 fastest lap points. But here we go then. Jamie has probably been the biggest gainer out of everybody as Jamie's up into 5th position. He was down there earlier on, so he's made some ground already. A lot of people making mistakes, and we'll probably have to see what is going on here. But Jamie's saying the fast lap of the race. He's absolutely nailing these wet conditions. Here comes Jamie, going to try and do the cutback from Kyle. I think the others could be struggling. Jamie has gained a bunch of time. So let's see what Jamie could do heading towards turn 4 now. I don't think he's going to get the move done yet, but he's on fire. I feel Guy for actually missing the moves that he's making, but he's doing his best. He could try for the mover once again. Heading to the one right-hand side of turn 6, I believe. And into turn 7. Can he make it work? Yes, he can. Jamie is up into 4th position. He could be on course be getting 3rd if he gets past them, Ryan. Which could be hard. It looks like Jamie's got more grip as we head towards turn 12 and 13. Matt is also trying to get around the inside of Kyle. Trying to cut back on the shortest line as he possibly can. No rain on the circuit now. So will the drivers who started on the softs, will they be thinking, would it be the perfect time for them to pit? Matta goes to the right, DRS enabled, slipstream as well. Can see Jamie going side by side with M. Ryan as well into turn 14, into turn 15. M. Ryan tries to fight back. We also got Matta and Kyle going side by side as well. A little bit of a twitch from Kyle. Can Kyle hold on to his line? I don't think he can. Matta is up into 5th place. Brilliant stuff. Gavin's up to 7th as Pete goes into the pit lane for his stop. I think he's going for the undercut. Unless the results change and he's doing the 2-stop, but I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, he's onto the hard. So yeah, this is going to be going on to the end of the race. So that is very nice and early for Pete, to be honest. But never say never. Maybe Pete's predicting a late safety car. Now, can Jamie find 3 tenths on Brandon now? It's not easy than you thought around here. But with the way Jamie's been performing this season, climbing his way through the field, anything can happen. And I'm really excited to see his progress at the moment, as we're almost heading towards lap 6 now. Red Matt's got a clear track in front of him. He's got Brandon pressuring him, but he's not gaining much, so that could be the order that we've seen for quite some time. And I wonder if Pete's pit stop is going to trigger everybody else to pit. Now, 2-stop, I would say, is probably, I don't know if it's an advantage or a disadvantage, but laps 5 to 7 is when people will pit for the hards. So yeah, Pete did go a lap early, as Kyle, I think, had to respond to Pete. So there goes Kyle. Into the pits he goes. And he is going to go on to the hards too, I believe, as Kev has got himself a 3-second time penalty. Ryan Berry also goes into the pits for a set of softs. You sure? I'm a bit confused why they've gone on to some softs. I understand Kyle because he's on the 2-stop, but Ryan Berry, I'm a bit intrigued. Maybe there is a method to his madness, as I would like to say, but, or maybe it's a mistake. Meanwhile, in the back as well, Risky, who's in last place, it is fitted onto the hard tyres now. He accidentally put on the wrong livery today, so he is, he's usually in blue. He is in blue, just ignored that he's got a pink livery today. So, just to let you know, and luckily Risky cleared this up with me before we started the stream, so all is well in that front. So, Red Matt, is he going to come into the pits? He stays out, but his rival Brandon goes in. What about Matta? He stays out. And Ryan does as well. What about the other soft runners? I think they're just leaving it to the last possible moment because they know that the hards won't last very long at all. In fact, the hards only last 21 laps. So it's a bit of a gamble for some of the people to pit earlier than they did. Brandon going on to the medians for his first stop out of 2. which is understandable that he's gone for the mediums. That means he could go to the softs to the end and also set for the fastest lap. And he's going to have Carl catching up like no tomorrow, but at least Brandon's tyres is going to be a little bit more durable, and he's going to have a much faster finish, I would say, at the end of the race. Let's jump to the guys back up front. We've got Acorn in a P9 on the mediums. Doing very well, keeping his tyre temperatures to good fruition. He'll probably be in the lead after everybody else has pitted, because he will have to make his stop. But I just need to check, actually, how long the mediums last. So the mediums last 16 laps. So, but the predicted window, I would say, for the mediums to hard strategy is 11 to 13. So that is what Acorn is probably going to try and do. And you can see he was almost using his ERS, but he's running out as Red Matt is in the pit lane. Red Matt is in the pit lane. So is Matter as well. But J-Luke and Matt and Niels and probably Gavin is staying out. And Ryan too. And I've seen in some instances of this race where the undercut has worked. And I've seen in some instances where it doesn't. And it's all down to the pace of these drivers. And we've got Brandon that has got past pretty much the ones that have not pitted yet. You can see Kev's tyres are starting to die as everyone else is trying to pass him. Kev will probably know that you'll have to pit soon anyway. Ren Matt's already starting to catch up to the back of the soft runners, so this may be, I think, a gamble which the drivers should not have done, as we got a yellow flag. Safety car? Safety car? Or VSC? Oh, we got a safety car! Well, my oh my. I was predicting that there was going to be a safety car, because there's been many times I've been commentating on races around it, and it's always been safety cars. So I will look at the position changes as well. So this will be a perfect chance for these guys at the front to get a free pit stop. That has worked wonders for them. Almost certainly for Jamie as well. M. Ryan comes in as well for his stop. I think everybody's going to go to the pits. If I was Brandon, I would pit as well. Get your stop out the way. But he's not. Now it's your one and only chance to get your two stop out the way. Carl is going... Oh. That was a very interesting pit lane line for Kyle, but there we go. Carl and Matter, the other people on the two-stop strategy, have also took an advantage, so it's a mistake that Brandon has made. We'll have to find out. And that's allowed Jamie, due to that safety car, he has taken the race lead. He has taken the net race lead. He's gone onto the hards, and he does not have to pit again. Could we see a different race winner? I think he must have been praying to the safety car gods right now. And it happened because the pit lane loss around it, it's not a lot, 17 seconds. You can cut that about 4, 5, 6 seconds. I think to 11 seconds, actually. I think that's why Jamie can get ahead. Brandon, I believe, is... I think for Brandon, I think he realised there was no point picking because he was on the means for one lap anyway. But he's probably going to drop down the order because nobody else would have to pit. I'm just looking at the pit stops. So, Carl has made 2, Matt has made 2, Ryan Berry's made 2. But Brandon still yet to make one final stop. Everybody else has made their mandatory stop. Risky is pitting again. I'm guessing he wants to go on to a set of mediums. Wait, let me have a look. It could work. 16 laps plus an extra 3 for safety car. Well, he is called risky for a reason. So I don't blame him for going on to this strategy. I have to say, this could work wonders for him. He is allowed to catch up to the safety car. And it's going to be an interesting development, I have to say. Now, this was the race I remember where I was talking about earlier, where Daniel Ricciardo and I think it was, who was in the other Red Bull at the time? Was it Max Verstappen? Yes, it was Max Verstappen. They really took advantage of that safety car, and that helped them win the race. Could we see a repeat of 2018 for Jamie? I'm not going to try and put any jinxes there because I'm worried I'm going to have probably the most... I'm probably going to jinx a lot of people here tonight. Not on purpose, though, as an accident. I hate giving commentators curses, I have to say. But I think it's going to be there for one more lap. And it's very crucial as well for these drivers to warm up their hard tyres because it's going to get really cold around it. Even though it's a track where there's not much for difference between the mediums and the hards, they get very cold in these conditions if you don't heat them up too quickly. So that's what people are going to take advantage of now. If you don't see them weaving as much, they'll be in trouble. But you can see, almost certainly, I can see from you the top two almost certainly weaving their tyres. And I wonder about the other drivers as well. Brandon doesn't have to weave his tyres that much because he's on the mediums. But the others can. Pete's got him back to himself to contention in 4th place, even though he's got that time penalty. But if he controls the pace as well from where he is, the penalty may not matter for him. But for now, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. So he just got to concentrate on setting good laps. And the safety car is in this lap. The safety car is in this lap. Everybody has caught up to the safety car. And we are in for quite a predicament at the moment, as Jamie is going to be the one controlling the field. Is he going to do a Magellan restart? Nope, he wants to get... He started straight away. He accelerates, foot on the throttle as quickly as he can. And he leads the Chinese Grand Prix with Red Matt in 2nd, Brandon 3rd. Mata is trying to make up for lost time in 11th as well because he had to pit twice. But he's also got Kyle as well, who I think, to be honest, I'm relieved for Kyle that the safety car came out because he doesn't have to worry about being on the softs anymore. Or maybe he was predicting it at the moment. Matt almost went late on the brakes there as M. Ryan is being pressured by Pete now. I believe M. Ryan got up into 4th as Pete was in 4th a moment ago. So Ryan making up moves in this race. I have to say, if Ryan doesn't get a podium, M. Ryan I'm talking about here, I am going to be probably the most shocked person ever, not going to lie. M. Ryan was definitely late on the brakes there as they head towards turn 12 and now towards turn 13. Pete's going to go side by side with Yuri. Pete is struggling with his hards. Yuri's on the softs, so I know Yuri will have to pit again, but Yuri's probably predicting another safety car. So let's see. Yuri goes to the right. Oh, what's happened to Yuri? Yuri just went straight on the track. Almost collected everybody with him. And a lot of people tried to avoid that. Oh my goodness, that caught me off guard a lot. And it was very lucky that Yuri did not get damage. Needed Pete by the matter. But meanwhile, Brandon on those special mediums get past Red Matt quite comfortably into turn 4. And heading towards 5 and into 6. Red Matt got plenty of battery. A lot of these drivers have been given opportunities to save their batteries during the safety car. And if they've been using too much during the first few laps after the safety car, it could be signs for a lot more trouble to come. And Ryan has also picked himself a time penalty as well. I believe that's 3 seconds. It's unfortunate that the time penalties are not showing on my screen, apart from obviously the black and white flags. So we've got Ryan, Pete, Kev, Acorn, Ahmed, and unsurprisingly Yuri, who went straight up. But you probably got wow, that 10-second penalty is unfair. Not gonna lie, he should definitely get that removed. But there we go. But he might have cut the chicane a little bit. I would have understood it was like 3-5 seconds, but 10. No thanks. No thanks. Meanwhile, a bit of argy-bargy going on for 9th position as Carl gets past Webmat. Neil's getting a 3-second time penalty. The penalties are starting to come up on my screen now, so I'm starting to pay a little bit more attention now as Lee. I think Lee was glad the safety car came too, to be honest. This is going to be the crucial part of the race. We're almost halfway into this 28-lap race for the Chinese Grand Prix. Could we see some more battles? Jamie's already pulling away to Red Mat, but Brandon could be catching up soon. Brandon will need to stop one more time. So now after that, Jamie will have a comfortable gap. I understand Brandon will be paying for the sauce for his final stop. Let's see if he can claw his way through the field that way. We'll have to wait and see. We've seen people done that before. Could Brandon be one of those people? 2 tenths between Lee, Carl and Gavin now. We're starting to see a DRS train form. Again, some late breakers being shown here today, especially around this hairpin. Swooping right-hander coming up now. DRS activated. Well, not yet anyway, but here comes Gavin. Side by side with Lee. Could Carl catch him up for unawares? We'll have to wait and see, but Lee trying to defend for his life. Gavin. I was surprised Gavin did not go for the move there, but Carl could say, you know what, if you don't go for the move now, I can. Maybe the next opportunity for these guys will be in turn 1, but you can see Carl's pace is a lot better compared to Gavin's softs. I think we are approaching the crossover point between the softs and the hards now for Gavin's sake anyway. So Carl now up into 8th place. Matters now up into 9th, and Gavin's dropping down into 10th, maybe 11th. With Ryan hot on his heels as well. There's a lot of Ryans in this lobby, so interesting to see that. And whilst we were watching the action, Pete also picked himself another 3-second time penalty. I believe that was 6 seconds. Yeah, it was 6 seconds. Whereas Ryan and Niels picked up another 3 seconds. Kev on 8, Acorn's on 5, Ahmed's on 3, and Jerry's on 10. So that's an update for the penalties for you. Brandon's now 8 tenths behind J-Luke. Just shy of the DRS range, but you could get him next lap. Could get him in the hairpin. He could gain a bit more time. That's where most time is gained. And it just shows what setup as it geared towards. Jamie, I feel like, it's gained a bit more, had a bit more of a setup for the straights more than the corners. You have to have a bit of a balance for both, which is sometimes what I tend to struggle around this circuit, and a majority of drivers seem to get this right. Massa gets past Lee, up into 8, but can Lee challenge? We got Carl as well, that couldn't make it 3-1 into turn 1. First of all, he's going to get Lee. Side by side, heading towards turn 2. Lee wants to fight back though. He doesn't want Carl to get this position that easily. Late on the brakes, heading towards turn 4 now. And Kyle just about edged it there. Brilliant stuff from the team member of the blue team. And now it's going to be blue versus green as we head towards turn 6. And heading towards turn 7 and 8 now. Which is probably really, really hard to get right in terms of the throttle usage. Left apex they go. Heading towards this tricky straight. Brake just after the 50-meter board. I think Carl's going to get DRS. Ryan Berry's going to get DRS as well. On those fresher meets, I won't be surprised if Ryan Berry gets the job done like now. So we'll see. No, I think the Carl straight line speed is impeccable. And Carl had a bit of a slide there as he got past turn 15. Can he nail the final corner of turn 16? We'll have to wait and see. He's lost a bit of time there to Matter. Matter's probably going to be breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief here as we head towards turn 1. My oh my, we're starting to see a few people make some mistakes here. And I feel like it could be a race decided on strategy and safety car luck, but sometimes you do need the luck. So, look at this lovely helicopter shot as it makes its way around Shanghai. And I'm trying to remember where we are next week, but I'm sure next week's going to be some interesting battles as well. But we've got some great battles here. As Brandon is challenging Jamie for the lead. He had to do it now, really, because otherwise Brandon would have not pulled a good enough gap when he went into the pit stops for the final time. As Matter has to fend from Niels by the looks of things, but luckily that mistake didn't cost him that much here. I always say here in a way. Luckily Risky's recovered well to 12th place, so at the moment he could be on course for points as Pete gets past M. Ryan. So maybe M. Ryan was pushing a little bit too much, but M. Ryan could fight back into turn 4. Fantastic move from M. Ryan. I have to say, I think Pete getting more penalties anyway. I don't think that M. Ryan needs to have fought that, but he tried to anyway. He wanted to get that battle done on track. What about Akon and Risky? Akon and Risky now going side by side. Past turn 6 now. And I think Akon has the edge there, but can Risky send him up the inside potentially here? Dirty Air not helping him there. Now watching for the front, guys, is it very important that Jamie's got to keep up the pace of Brandon, because he can't let Brandon run away with this, because if Brandon gets a good enough gap, Brandon can come up still in a good position, and with his fresher tyres he could be on course for the win, and Jamie does not want that to happen. So as long as Jamie keeps up with Brandon, he should be fine. Meanwhile, Niels and Ryan fighting around the inside of the hairpin. Ryan Berry is up into 7th position. I think this is where we're seeing a lot of moves being done is during the hairpin, well, through the hairpin, I would like to say that. Niels now 1/10. He could fight back. Like I said, I've seen quite a lot of people fight back in these 3 sets of turns. I've done that quite a bit in league racing. But what I've noticed, and I think a lot of drivers have noticed as well, it's very hard to get a move in turn 4. But could he get the move in turn 5 and 6? Niels and Kyle going side by side here. Kyle almost had a look on that one. Niels going onto the grass a little bit. This is giving Kyle a little bit of room, and they both make contact. contact, and that ended pretty much both of their races. They will both have to pit again by the sounds of it. My oh my, Kyle was running so well. He's got damage to his right front wing. And I think Kyle saw Niels there. I think Niels did not see Kyle. I don't know, but we're going to leave it up to the stewards. But I think Kyle saw the opportunity, he went for it. Because I would have done that if I saw someone go off the circuit. I would have been like, right, I would have gone for the move. So, I don't blame him, but you know, we're in their races. Meanwhile, Jamie's going for the race lead on track. So we'll have to wait and see. It's getting a good shot here from Brandon. And I'm a bit worried for Brandon if Brandon does not pull away here. Maybe Jamie's doing it for a reason. Going side by side, goes the pair of them. I'm just seeing how long these tyres go on for. 11 laps. 11 laps. And the leaders are pulling away from the rest of the field right now. Kyle has to pit, and I believe Niels will be doing the same. Let's see. Or did Niels get away with that? Somehow, I think he got away with that incident. Very interesting. To be honest, I'm a bit shocked about that. But there we go. It's league racing sometimes. And I think we're starting to feel the benefit of the hard right now for Jamie as conditions get hotter. China is very awful for tyre temperatures. You can see Brandon broke a little bit late there and he might have locked up a bit with his tyres. But Brandon is not giving up. I believe Brandon is staying out long enough so he can go on to the soft tyres at the end, which I think is a no-brainer if you're doing the two-stop. I still don't get why Brandon did not pit earlier like Carl and Mata did, but no hard feelings. I'm almost certain. I think it's Brandon on the two-stop today. I'll have to have a look. Yeah, it is. It is Brandon. That's also on the two-stop, yeah. So yeah, he is going for the softs. Sorry, I had a bit of a mind blank for the time being there. Meanwhile, Kev has been pressured by Akon once again. Heavy braking zone coming up. Kev trying to give a lot of space to Akon. This is where we've seen the incident earlier between Niels and Kyle. Let's hope we don't have the same incident. They're still going side by side. If Kev just a little bit more to the right, it would have been contact. There's still a bit of contact now, but no hard feelings. This is superb racing as they head towards turn 12 and into turn 13. Ahmed could fight back as well. I think Ahmed is playing, the backseat driver in this one because he's just probably waiting for both of them to make a mistake. And if they do, they could be like, you know what? I could get in a position here. He's going to try to at least have a look around the right-hand side of the track of turn 14. Could this be a move of dreams for Ahmed? Oh, a little bit of a slide there. Costed him. That must be frustrating for Ahmed. He wants the top 10 so badly. I know penalties might change a lot of things, but he doesn't care. He doesn't care about penalties at the moment. He just wants to run his own race. Meanwhile, Newgarden's also in the back of this. The danger is, with these guys in the midfield battling for 10th place, the cars near the back, they're going to be catching and catching and catching. So if I were these guys, Ahmed, you need to get a move on now. Ahmed needs to get the move done now. But he's lost a bit of time to Akon. So maybe Akon is potentially a little bit faster compared to Ahmed, but we'll see. I'm intrigued to see what Newgarden can do now behind Ahmed. I think this could work really well for him. Red is a team that needs to start getting more points. Red is currently sitting last in the team standings. And they do not want to be last anymore as Brandon goes into the pit lane for his final stop. Soft tyres he goes. Now we're going to see where he comes out, because if he comes out in a good position, he can still challenge for the win. The race win is not off the cards for Brandon. And I'm seeing gap to leader. Let's look at gap to leader. He needs to find 23.5 seconds in 6 laps. It's going to be hard for Brandon, but we know Brandon's a very fast driver on this game. He is the runner-up last season for a reason. And he challenged Mata last season, so he could still do it. Carl has set the fastest lap so far, but I'm sure Brandon definitely wants to challenge that. And Ryan Berry, I know, is going to struggle on these mediums, but here comes Brandon on Lee. Brandon's going to be attacking Lee first. This should be an easy move for him as they head towards the sweeping right-hander. Yep, it's before he even got to the DRS straight. I don't think Lee challenged Ryan Berry, Brandon there. Meanwhile, Pete's up into 4th place. Let's get the gap to interval up again so I can see your lovely battles. Meanwhile, Mata on fresher tyres. I thought he would have defended that. But I think Mata could gain some momentum here. So we shall see. Nobody's been able to make the move into turn 4 successfully. Ryan Berry is in the pits from his mediums. I think he wants to go for fastest lap as well. That was a huge dive, but Pete, I think, saw that coming. Pete's back up into 4th. Matt was in 5th for a split second. 4th for a split second, sorry. My oh my, that almost caught me on the res. It's some superb battling here. Now, heading towards turn 11 and 12 and heading towards 13. I think Matt is going to get the better exit into 13, which he is. DRS enabled. He's got plenty of slipstream from Pete. It looks like Pete's not challenging him in there. The Haas are almost near the sell-by date. But look at this, Pete's still challenging him though. I think Pete has definitely got good cornering speed because he's able to catch up in the hairpin. I have to say, good battling from these two. And Brandon could catch up to these guys. Brandon has set the fastest lap so far, so at the moment, he is in contention of getting these extra 2 points. Pete 3 tempted the gap between himself. Oh! Pete just caught the car there, but I think he put a lot of power there, which hindered his progress a lot. Which means he's now 9 tenths behind Mata. Meanwhile, Brandon's now past Lee. But can he get past Pete very soon? Meanwhile, Acorn gets past Kev. Ahmed is still within that range now. And I wonder when Ahmed is going to blink and say, right, I'm going for the move now. Maybe if I was in potentially, I would probably wait until the end of the race to do it. But we will see. As this race I starts to intensify. And meanwhile, Mata has got past M. Ryan. As M. Ryan gets past Pete. So I think Pete has been caught unawares there for a second. This could be Pete's chance to fight back. Mata does not have a penalty, whereas the other two do. I know Mata did not have to fight this, but just in case Mata gets a time penalty himself, at least that gives him the extra advantage. Brander's on the back of this as well. So Brander could still be on course for a podium. Maybe the win could be on the cards. And Mata spun. Mata has spun into turn 4. Heading towards turn 5 and 6. He must be absolutely furious, as Murray Walker would say. His mistake has costed him, and unfortunately we weren't going to have the battle go on more for Pete and Mata. I have to say, brilliant job from both of them. So, I think Pete's probably having a little bit of a sigh of relief, but his next victim, his next chance for attack has got to be M. Ryan. I think everyone's hard tired is starting to die at the moment, just looking at the tyre life of everybody's hard tyres. Definitely Pete's. I'm a bit worried Pete's going to get a puncture. I think, when I did a race around China, I think, because the tyres can manage 21 laps, I managed to get, the tyres for me lasted 22 laps for me, and I was still able to finish the race. But when I was trying to battle so many cars, it was just very, very difficult, and the guys with fresher tyres, even with their penalties, they were able to clear away their penalties and get ahead of me, which was annoying around China. So we could see the same thing happen here for maybe the likes of Acon potentially as well. Meanwhile, Jamie still leads by a comfortable margin, 8.6 seconds. We could have another different winner here at VSL. And I was hoping for another winner tonight. And we are going to get one as well. Obviously, Jamie replacing Bankai for tonight. We are going to potentially get 2 new drivers next week. Watch this space. We'll find out who those are going to be next week and who I get to commentate over. I'm very excited, actually. Hope we will get to see 4 grids again, because it's a shame we're not getting 4 grids, but sometimes you don't get that. Meanwhile, Mata must be frustrated about what happened with his spin, but he's still not giving up without a fight. He still wants to give us a show for the final few laps of this race. And I have to say, fair play to him for still going on like that. He's racing as if nothing has happened. But Lee wants to score as many points as he possibly can. Let's hope none of these guys can get caught out in turn 4. Mata, I think, just got caught on the grass a little bit as well, but I think more mistakes are starting to be made as we got a yellow flag. Is that? That was either Yuri or Risky. I don't know. Risky is dropped down into last place now. Oh, that is a shame. So I think it's him. Meanwhile, I think it's going to be a tough ask for Brandon to get past Red Matt and find 4 seconds in 1 lap. But you never know. Red Matt could make a mistake. We've seen a lot of surprises here at VSL for quite a few seasons. So we'll see if we can get maybe a similar surprise here, you will never know. As we're on the final lap of this race. The gap now has been increased to 10 seconds. I think Red Matt must be struggling, or Jamie must be pushing a lot. Or it might be both. I do not know. But I have to say, Jamie has been the start after starting from low down the grid. He had a bad start, and then he somehow managed to recover from that start and gain a lot of positions. Meanwhile, there's still some battles happening at the back as well. To be honest, it's been a much better race than last week, I have to say, in terms of action. People are starting to run out of fuel in ERS, but they're not worried about it at this stage. So let's go on board with our race leader, who we haven't been on board with a lot today because he was dominating after the safety car. He had the threat from Brandon earlier on, but he knew he had to pit for a final time. So here he comes then, the number 19 of Jamie. He's delivered when it counted. He comes across the line and he wins in China. Fantastic performance from him, I have to say. Driver of the day without a doubt. Red Matt comes across the line to take a really good second place. Brandon comes across the line in third. Those will be the three that do the two-stop next week. Ryan comes home in a respectable fourth place. Well done to him. And Pete in fifth. But what about penalties? Will Pete stay there? Could Lee snatch fifth at the last minute? Ooh, 1.8 seconds. Not quite enough. And that was a very close finish, I have to say. For, I think it was a photo finish between Matu and Akon there. My oh my. And then we got Kyle, Gavin, Risky and Yuri. The final four people to cross the line. And unlucky for Risky and Yuri, but they're still going, I have to say. All drivers finishing. The race is pretty good and on the leading lap as well. As Kyle took an interesting run to the line there, but at least he finished. Gavin in 15th. And we got Yuri and Risky running in formation. Coming across the line. Yuri again taking an interesting run. Oh, what did the AI do? I do not know. But anyway, all 17 cars made it through across the line, which was great to see. And Jamie gets driver of the day in game. I'll have to agree with that, not gonna lie. And we've got, I believe, 3 different teams on the podium. So we've got Team Blue, Team Yellow and Team Pink. Let me have a look actually. I think that's right. No, we got 2 pinks. It's just Red Matt forgot to change his suit. Or Brandon, I don't even know. But anyway. So here's your running results then. J-Luke wins by 10 seconds over Red Matt. Brandon in 3rd. Ryan in 4th. Pete in 5th. Lee in 6th. Matto in 7th. Ryan Berry in 8th. Ahmed in 9th. And Akon in 10th. New Garden and Kev get your final point. As well as Ryan Berry getting the 2 extra points for fastest lap. Niels in 13th, Carl 14th, Gavin 15th, Risky 16th, and Yuri in 17th. Next week, we head to the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg for the Austrian Grand Prix. I'm really excited for that one. Should be a spectacle, not gonna lie. Austria always provides us with some great racing, both in real life and in league racing. It never fails to disappoint, so I'm really, really excited. And I hope you will be able to catch us on the VSL channel. Same time, same place, 8 PM UK time for the Austrian Grand Prix. I've been JessGames95. Hope you all had a good day and hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. See you soon. Bye-bye.